Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Alex and I'm a nutritionist. Now, I don't know about you, but I've made many mistakes with my diet in the past, even as a nutritionist. And that might shock you, but I am only human. And sometimes we can override things without even realizing. So I'm going to go through my top 6 mistakes that I've made personally, and my clients have also made these mistakes. But it can easily be rectified, and I'm here to help. So, here we go. The first one, number one, is over exercising. And that might shock you a bit, but over exercising is number one, exhausting your body, you're not recovering enough, and your appetite goes through the roof because you're so hungry. Your body needs those nutrients. And like we see with people that train for the marathon, often say they actually put on weight because it drives up their appetite so much. So you need to find that um, middle ground. So, the perfect porridge temperature for you. So for me, that would be I strength train 4 days a week, and then I do restorative yoga 3 days a week. And that is perfect for me. My appetite isn't going through the roof, and I feel energized and not overworked. And before, some years ago, I used to train 6 days a week, all high intensity mixed with strength. And I used to struggle to take a day off because I was so addicted to it. But I was bigger than I am now. I struggled to get weight off me, body fat off me. So, I'll pop a picture here so you can see the difference. And it does make a huge difference into how you look and feel, and can be a real milestone when you get that right for you. And it's also different times of your cycle as well. Some weeks I'll push more. That's at the beginning of my cycle, because even though I'm in perimenopause, I'm still cycling. And then I start to pull back a bit when I get closer to my period. The next thing is number two, focusing on the scale. And the scale has been such a blooming terrible, sad step in most women's lives. All it does is show your entire weight of your body. It doesn't tell you how much muscle you have. It doesn't tell you how much food you haven't digested, how much water you're holding. And yes, there are fancier scales, but they are still an estimate. And the only near to perfect, it's not perfect, is a DEXA scan, which, does everything, but it costs a lot of money, and we don't have one in our home. So if we focus solely on the scale, we're going to be disappointed. It's going to go up and down depending on what exercise we've been doing, or what we've eaten, how much water we're holding, how much muscle we've built. I prefer to use a tape measure, just a simple £1 tape measure. And the main measurement for me would be the waist, because if you're going up in weight but your waist size is decreasing, that's actually a really good sign that you're building muscle. So let's move away from looking at the scale all the time and focus on measurements, focus on progress pictures, focus on how we're feeling, how our clothes are feeling, our energy, how we're sleeping. After all, we don't walk around with our weight slapped on our forehead. And I'm a lot heavier than you think I would be. That's because I'm carrying quite a lot of muscle, and also that increases your metabolism too. So if I solely focused on the scale like I used to, I'd be getting rid of muscle to hit that perfect number, and that just doesn't work. It's so unhealthy for you to be losing a lot of muscle in order to get that perfect number on the scale. So number 3 is eating too much processed foods, ultra processed foods, I should say. And things like, which I used to have, protein bars. I'm hitting my protein targets. But if you look at the ingredients, in general, most protein bars have quite a lot of nasties in there. And actually, I find I'd be craving another protein bar that not long after, because my taste buds and my brain would just be fired up to it. And say foods like Pringles is a great example. Once you pop, you can't stop. It's like the Doritos effect. There's actually a book written about the Doritos effect. They're actually built and made by, designed, I should say, by scientists in order to make them ultra processed and trigger those signals in your brain so you literally cannot stop eating them. And even when you do stop eating them, you're craving them even more. Even if these fit in with your calories of the day, you're pushing out nutrient dense foods in order to fit these ones in, and they're not going to serve you at all, short term or long term. A little bit here and there, yes, absolutely, because I'm not about cutting any foods out unless they're, really detrimental to your health, but just a bit, and see how you get on. If you flood your diet with nutrient dense foods, it will make such a big difference to your energy and your performance and everything else, in accordance with your body and your mind, actually. So it's really important to eat a nutrient dense diet. Number 4 is going too hard. You've got this amazing new diet, you're excited about it, you bought the book, you bought all the things in, you've chucked all this food out, comes with an exercise plan, you've got to do that 5 days a week, maybe 6. That you're getting the results, 2 weeks in, but you just can't sustain it. And then it's another dusty book on the shelf, and you think, I'm useless, I can't do this. Other people can, but I can't. I'm broken. My metabolism is broken. And that is just not the case. The fact is, you can do it in a more sustainable way. Make small changes at a time. Build your confidence with each habit and action and behavior that you put in place. And you'll see results start to happen because you can be more consistent with it. And this is about lifestyle, not some 2-week, 3-month diet plan. You've got to think about it in these terms. Can I see myself eating like this and exercising like this for the rest of my life? And if it's a no, then step away from it. Do remember, I love this saying, small hinges swing big doors. And that is just what happens with little actions that build up and build up. And before you know it, they become part of your life. And it doesn't seem like such a big task. One ring at a time up the ladder is the way to go, not big leaps and then skid all the way down and fall on your backside. Number 5 is ignoring the emotional ties to your cravings and food choices. And we have such an emotional attachment to food. When we were a kid, if we hurt ourselves, maybe mum got us an ice cream or some sweets, or was sad, and that does develop on into, older life, all the way through your life. So my advice for that is, if you feel a craving coming on, just sit with it for a minute. Just sit with it and see what happens. Just tune into how you're feeling, hand on heart, take deep breaths, close your eyes, and just see what you're actually feeling. Are you feeling sad? Are you tired? Are you actually hungry? Are you thirsty? all of these things can play tricks with your mind, thinking that you're actually hungry and you're not. A craving is generally, it comes on urgently, whereas hunger is a gradual increase in hunger and your belly starts rumbling, all of those things. So do take the time to sit and just step back for a minute and see what's going on. And if something comes up like, I'm sad, maybe speak to somebody or go out for a walk or listen to something that makes you happy. And don't discount getting some therapy as well if you really do need that extra bit of help. I highly recommend a good therapist. So the next thing is, which is number 6, is ignoring your cycle and just pushing through regardless. As women, our cycles are in general 29 and a half days long. That's actually the same as the cycle of the lunar cycle, interestingly, and we're very much linked to that. But each week out of those 29 and a half days on average is completely different hormonally. And compared to a man's cycle, which is 24 hours, ours is 29 and a half days, we require different approaches for each week. And it's very subtle. But say the week before your period, you're feeling quite tired, you probably need some more sleep. Maybe you need to increase your magnesium. You may need to work in more than you're working out. So pull back the exercise and do more yoga, gentle walks, meditations, warm baths, a bit of quiet time with a book. It really is a great time to start working inwards. And then first few days of your period, you might still feel like that. But then after that, your hormones are stabilized and you can start to increase the activity. You're actually going to feel the strongest in the first 2 weeks of your cycle because estrogen is really dominant and that's the go-getter hormone. Then once you ovulate, your corpus luteum releases progesterone and that starts to calm things down a bit. It's like the cautious sister. She's like, don't stand too near to the edge. Don't do this. Don't do that. Just I want you to be safe. Whereas estrogen is like, I want to go out. I want to talk to people. I need to get my point across. And the two work really well together. But you've got to allow that and lean into it rather than fighting against it and bulldozing it all the time. And that's coming from me for quite a lot of my life too. So, I'm not here saying I'm perfect and I do everything perfectly. I absolutely don't. I'm a human. I love some processed food on occasion. Sometimes do find that I've over exercised a bit. I can have negative self-talk. So yeah, all of these things are super, super helpful. Even if you take one and let me know how you get on. Is there anything that you found as a stumbling block in trying to lose fat? And let me know. And I'm more than happy to help. I've got lots more videos on supporting women's health with sleep and nutrition and all of those good stuff. So if you subscribe, and I'll leave some links to my other videos below. That would be super helpful. Give it a like too. I'd really, really appreciate it. Anyway, sending you lots of love. Have a lovely day. Bye.